those of you watching may be wondering why this hat with paper is sitting here, and there's a good reason for it. We've got a new segment that we're going to try out today, and Colt is going to pull a moment in wrestling history from this hat, and then blindly rank it 1 to 10 on how important he feels that it is to wrestling history. This could be anything from Frank Gotch and George Hackenschmidt all the way up to this past Saturday with CM Punk winning the world title. It could be anything. So I will hold it up here so that way you cannot see as you reach in.
All right.
Pull one out, and we'll see what your first one is, 1 through 10. How important is this? Read it out loud.
Mankind wins the WWF Championship on Raw is War 1/4/99. January 4th, 99. That's, whew. I feel like that was a huge moment because, if I'm not mistaken, did WCW not give away...
That's the night that Tony Schiavone said, that'll put butts in seats.
Yep. And everybody turned over. So that was that the 83rd week or the 84th?
That is the 83rd week, yep.
Oh man, I feel like that's a really big one. I'm gonna mark down that's probably number 3.
Number 3?
Yeah,
okay.
I'll say
All
that's
right.
number 3. So I'll get rid of number 3 there.
All right. So just to be clear, Colt cannot change his rankings once he has his full list. And there are 21 of these cards in here. So he won't get to all of them. We are just going to have to see after this where he goes. That may have been a bad decision to put that at number 3. We're just going to have to see.
I just feel like that's a really big moment. I got one? Yes. All right. Terry Funk retires in ECW against then WWF champion Bret Hart, then signs with WWF. Terry Funk's WrestleFest, 9/11/97.
So that is Terry Funk's second or third retirement.
I was going to say, it's like Ric Flair. How many times can you retire?
Yeah.
I feel like it could have led to some things and some, obviously signing with WWF, it went on to him and Mankind with the New Age Outlaws, and there was some good stuff that came out of that, leading to DX.
Really, I feel like the big part of this story, too, is that Vince allowed the WWF champion to go work a match in another company.
That is big.
Out of respect for Terry.
Yep.
And then the crazy part of it all, less than a year after that, Terry signs with the WWF. I mean, what date did that say? September?
9/11/97.
Okay, so Terry Funk's at WrestleMania the next year. I think he debuts as Chainsaw Charlie in January. So, less than a 3-month retirement?
Yeah.
At minimum?
Yeah.
Because I know he was at No Way Out of Texas. So, he was in the Rumble. So,
I'm going to go with, I don't think that's the lowest we can get. I'm going to go with an 8.
okay. All right. I'll shuffle these around for you some more here. Make sure that you grab a good one.
Make sure. You want me to look?
No.
Okay. Hulk Hogan puts Harley Race through the first table in wrestling history. Saturday night main event on March 12th, 1988.
Now, this is the first table spot. This is what some people call the first hardcore spot in wrestling. Obviously, there were street fights and things before that. There were cage matches.
But nobody had been put through a table.
Nobody had been put through a table. And the phrasing of that is actually not entirely correct because Hogan is laying on the table and Harley jumps from the apron and Hogan moves off. So
Okay.
Harley goes through.
Okay. I don't feel like that's a huge spot to me.
Okay.
I feel like that would probably... I don't know if it's going to get to be the worst, and I may regret it, but I'm going to go 9.
Okay.
I can see you're like, yeah, you're grinning.
Well, we'll see what else is in here.
Oh, the first War Games, the Great American Bash in 1989. 7/23/1989. Great American Bash, great pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Was that WCW at the time?
So that is the NWA. This is kind of interesting. So the first actual War Games match was a house show in 1987, and they did 23 house show war games from 87 through 88 before they were ready to put it on pay-per-view in 89. And this is the Road Warriors and Nikita Koloff and Paul Ellering and Dusty
Yep.
versus the Four Horsemen and J.J. Dillon.
Yep.
So this is NWA. This is the only televised NWA War Games.
Okay. Still feel like it's big, but I'm going to go, it's probably mid-big, so I'm going to go 5.
Okay.
Don't want to dry out my marker so I can keep track of where I'm putting things.
Let's see here. What do we got?
All right. Starrcade is the first major national wrestling event. Starrcade 11/24/1983. Starrcade, this is a big one to me because this leads towards, what's to become WrestleMania. I mean, it's different promotions,
Absolutely.
but Vince McMahon, I think, sees this and is like, hey, we can do this bigger. We can do this better. And
an important distinction, Starrcade 83, not on pay-per-view,
No.
on closed circuit.
Yep.
So you'd go to your local movie theater or auditorium that was showing this on a big screen, but not in-home pay-per-view. That was WrestleMania that set the standard for that.
And I feel like this really set stage for WrestleMania, which puts a lot of things over the top.
That's right. Kind of a butterfly effect here. Without that, how much more do we get?
Exactly. So I feel like that's a really big event. But I got 21 different things to choose from, and this would be my 5th one. I feel like, I don't want to discredit it by putting it at a 4, but I don't know if 2 is too high. I don't feel like 2 is too high. We're going to go 2. Might be a mistake, but, it's all right. Wouldn't be the first mistake I've made in my life.
That's right.
Jim Herd fires Ric Flair, 9/8/1991.
So obviously this leads to the Real World's Champion storyline in the WWF. Big deal. Ric Flair coming to the WWF for the first time.
And he brought the world title with him.
Brought the world title.
And that was huge, having that show up in the WWF.
Yeah.
It didn't last very long. It was a big deal. But it did lead to a lot, and it led to Ric Flair, recognizing that WWF is a big promotion.
Yep.
So let's go with a 4.
Okay. So far, what spots do you have left? You got 1, 6, 7, and 10.
Yep. RoboCop makes his WCW debut at Capital Combat 5/19/1990.
All right.
Now, as funny as this is, Sting was involved. Everybody knows I love Sting. It didn't lead the way for celebrities because we'd already been having celebrities
That's
at
true.
WrestleMania and
That's
stuff.
true.
So it doesn't, but as far as a big movie or something like that, I'm gonna throw this at the 10. This one's gonna get.
This is the 10 for you.
As much as I love Sting, it just
So you have 1, 6, and 7 left.
SmackDown debuts 8/26/1999. That's huge. SmackDown and still going strong today.
Still going today.
So 26 years later, we're still going strong. We're gonna go with number 6. I would probably rank that a little bit different now, knowing what I have here, but that's why these are blind. New Jack attempts to kill Vic Grimes at XPW Freefall in February 23rd, 2002.
Now, this is the scaffold match where he tries to get revenge for his brain damage.
You're like, Jack, I can't feel my legs. I said, you ain't gonna need them. Bombs away.
How important is this to wrestling history? 1 or 7?
Well, I have to go 7 now. All right. All All that's left is one, right?
Yep, this has to be your number one.
Good grief. Well, okay, this really is a good one. Ron Simmons wins the WCW Championship, WCW Main Event 8/2/1992. He was the first black world champion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this actually is huge. That is, I would go with that as a number one thing because that led the way for, if you wanted, if you will, Black American history.
Yeah.
Him and Ron Simmons is one hell of a wrestler.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize who he was prior to the APA, or a lot of people are just that he's the damn guy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Which is funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But prior to that, being in the APA and stuff, I mean, him winning that championship was huge.
So Colt, right now, I'm springing a surprise on you here. For extra content for our YouTube channel, we're going to do the rest of the rankings. We've got another 10 left, and then whatever he doesn't pick, the last one has to be his 21. So this will not be part of the podcast. This is a separate video on YouTube. If people want to see the extended version with all 21, that's available there. So go ahead, Colt. You get 11 through 20 now.
11 through 20.
11
okay.
through, these are your
All
10.
Right. All right. Medusa wins the Cruiserweight Championship at Starrcade 99.
Probably an immediate response to China winning the Intercontinental Championship in, I believe, October of 99.
Yeah, and
Then
China had already won. This is a response to that, I feel like.
And she loses it to Oklahoma the next month.
So, I mean, I liked Medusa, and I thought she was a great addition to WCW, but I just, we're going to go, I feel like you got some tricks up your sleeve.
11 to 20.
I'm going to go 20.
Okay, 11 to 20.
Yeah, that may be, especially the way you said that, may be a mistake. All In, 9/1/2018.
Tell us how important All In was to the industry.
I feel like it was important because it solidified that there's another place to go. Cody Rhodes was big at bringing us all together.
Yeah.
Jericho was big at bringing us all together.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks. So, I mean, you have a group here that, hey, there's more than just WWE. And like I said, TNA, I think, had kind of fallen off the map. Still there, but it wasn't like, if somebody like a Rusev or, somebody, it's like, hey, I'm not Nick Nemeth.
Yeah.
Didn't necessarily have any place to go. So now we have some options. And at the time, I think that was a big deal.
And that's what we got to think about, not necessarily how we can look back at it today, but in the moment, how big of a deal it was. I mean, I want to point out, Chris Jericho and Rey Mysterio appear on this card. Both of them were in the Royal Rumble earlier that year. So Rey Mysterio had just come back from his long Indies run in the 2010s, and then left again before coming back at the Royal Rumble the next year. And during that short stint, he main events All In. Mm-hmm. Chris Jericho, surprise appearance during the Penta Kenny Omega match.
Yep.
Because Chris Jericho, while with WWE, was feuding with New Japan's Kenny Omega.
Yep.
All this leading the way, obviously, to AEW. So what are you going to give that 11 to 20?
It's pretty big. Let's go 12.
Okay.
All right. I feel like I'm drying out my marker a little bit there.
That's all right.
Ooh. I'm glad I saved it. This is a big one. Sting retires. AEW Revolution 3/3/24. And it's a big one for me personally just because Sting finally said, not finally, but he said, I am going to be done in the ring. I am not going to have he'll still make appearances, but he was not going to have any more carded matches. Yeah. He was done. He wanted to call it a career, and he felt that this was the best one to go out with. His entire AEW run, I don't think he ever had a singles match. He chose Darby Allin to kind of help bring up and work with him and help him along. And then it was also the Young Bucks?
Yes.
So,
Yep.
I mean, not a terrible way to go out. The match itself, again, Sting himself, I thought was fantastic. Ric Flair getting involved a little bit. Many stars were present for it. Lex Luger, and I'm not sure how many guys actually got to be there, or if some of them were backstage or not. But many, past wrestling stars were there.
Larry Zbyszko, I believe, was there. Yeah.
So this one for me personally was a huge one. I will put this one at the 11 just because it was, to me, it's the end of an era. And for me personally, it was an end of an era that, my guy retired.
Yeah.
Or one of my guys retired.
Sure.
Sting versus Hulk Hogan at Starrcade 97. I got to put that one at 13.
I promise, these aren't all Sting. He's just gone on a
Luck of the
bender here.
draw here.
Yeah.
These would have ranked a lot higher for me. I'm putting it at number 13 because that one, the match itself was not great. And I have watched so many and read so many articles and interviews. Not so much, Sting has talked about it. Hogan has talked about it. Bischoff has talked about it. And I think all three have given different answers from their viewpoints of that match. The build-up, one of the greatest build-ups ever from when Sting, the NWO came in. Sting stopped talking. Instead of being colorful and blonde flat top hair, he went to the Crow look, which was courtesy of Scott Hall, giving him that idea. But he started painting his face white and black around the eyes and the mouth, and hanging on the rafters, dropping down from the rafters. Yep. The build to this was phenomenal, and the payoff to that match. The match itself was okay until the what was supposed to be a quick count, I believe, from Nick, the official at the time, and he didn't do a very quick count.
No, so it looked bad.
It looked very bad, and Bret Hart coming out to say that he'd done a quick count, and that made them, have to shift gears, and then I think it went on. Can't remember the event that they were meant to rectify it, but it was an event a month or two later. So I'll place that one as number 13.
Okay, all right. Well,
that was just such a time in wrestling.
Oh yeah.
That was just.
I wasn't alive for it, but yeah.
Yeah, you weren't there. Ooh, Kurt Angle signs with TNA Impact. That's another big one. That is huge, actually. So for TNA, this era of TNA. Sting had joined and elevated him a little bit. Jeff Jarrett, I believe, was the mind behind Impact, TNA Impact.
Yeah. Christian had just joined shortly before this.
Yes, and so you have Sting, and I think at the time, Kevin Nash had already joined. This was, I feel like this was just before it got out of hand.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle and Sting were two guys, besides Jeff Jarrett, that really gave a damn about TNA.
Right.
And so the matches that Kurt had in TNA were phenomenal. So yeah, this is another high one for me. I will go with being number 14.
Okay. All right.
May regret that. We'll see.
We'll have to see where things wind up.
Mae Young gives birth to a hand. Raw is War. February 28, 2000.
Man.
I got 19 on there still, right?
Yeah, you do.
That should have been 21.
Oh, man.
That with Mark Henry was, you talk about a time of wrestling.
Yeah.
You talk about a time of wrestling. Oh my. You can't really say much else about that.
You really can't.
Big one. Hulk Hogan leaves the WWF, King of the Ring, 6/13/93.
Yep.
That's a big time because that led to going to WCW.
It did.
So that is a big one.
But I intentionally made sure this is Hulk Hogan leaving the WWF, not joining WCW.
No.
So important
leaving,
distinction. This event, leaving the WWF, people just thought he was going to Hollywood.
He was, and he did. He was doing not Days of Thunder. What was it? Thunder in Paradise.
Thunder in Paradise.
Thunder
I
in
almost said
Paradise.
Thunder Lips, but that's different. That's
Rocky 3.
That's Rocky 3. Yeah.
But no, that was Hogan technically going to Hollywood. He was doing TV and I think he was doing some movies. Some not great, but although a big deal, it's not as big a deal as it could be. Because there was always room that he could have come back, and he was just doing Hollywood. So to me, that's an 18.
Yeah. I think one of them came out of the hat here. Yep, one of them did come out of the hat here. So that hasn't been entirely fair. I just started counting, and I was like, I think we're one short. But we'll see where things wind up. I don't even know which one it was.
Oh my God.
What do we got here?
David Arquette wins the world title for WCW Thunder. 4/27/2000. That was shortly after Ready to Rumble.
Yes, it was.
And I will infamously go down in Windsor theater history, the theater here in Hampton. I told the managers this movie was going to do phenomenal. I think for the entire week of this film's run at the Windsor, I think it was something like, I don't know, maybe a dozen people, maybe.
Every ticket bought was cold. So
I saw it that entire week. Oh my God, that was, yeah. Okay, so that's 17.
Okay.
Because I can't get any lower. Oh, I still like it. Honestly, I still watch that movie as one of those comfort movies that we talked about on our.
I just watched it. I just watched it again recently. It's okay.
It's not. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it is.
Not great.
It's fun. The Nexus debuts on Raw 6/7/2010. I don't put it very high on my list. I mean,
They tear up the ring. They attack John Cena. But nothing came of it.
That's just it. Nothing comes of it. It's, you know. So, I guess that'll have to go 16, in my opinion.
Okay. And so now we're going to find out what is 15 and what is 21. So, Colt, your number 15, is it left or right?
Left.
Okay, your number 15.
ECW becomes NXT, WWE ECW 2/10/2010.
You're okay with that at that position?
No, because I don't know what that is.
Obviously, that has a good long-term effect because it builds the NXT brand. In 2010,
As far as
game show NXT is no good.
Yes.
But it does build into something great.
it is the seed, I feel like, what we have today.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's honestly, it should probably be higher on the list.
And Colt, you made the rules here. You picked from the hat, which means your worst moment in wrestling history is the end of the Monday Night Wars.
Oh, Jesus. It was a terrible time as far as...
As a WCW fan, I'm sure it was.
Because then Sting's for sure gone. And so, yeah, I mean, I'll agree with that. That is probably one of the worst moments.
So let's recap from worst to best here. Colt, worst to best, what are your moments in wrestling history?
From worst to best, my worst one being the Monday Night Wars end, which I am going to agree. I mean, I do feel like that wasn't the best it was a huge moment. Vince McMahon.
I was going to say, we are talking about important moments in history.
Important moments
so I guess maybe this would be least important to most important is how this is actually.
So, I mean, that I do not agree with because I think it would be one of the most important parts in wrestling history. And then, being the most important, I don't know if it's the most important in wrestling history, but it certainly does rank up there as Ron Simmons winning WCW Championship. That was a huge moment in time.
Absolutely.
Especially for, black community, black wrestlers. That's a huge, huge moment. And I don't think at that time, I honestly don't think anybody better could have been the representative for that, Ron Simmons. So
absolutely. Okay. Well, are you happy with your list in total?
In total, I'm okay with it.
You're okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going in blind and not knowing what you put in there. I mean, there are some other moments that I'm kind of surprised you didn't put in, and then there's moments that's like, you really picked that one.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Well, I just want it on the record. Colt Powers stands behind this list fully as the most important moments in wrestling history, and he truly believes that Mae Young giving birth to the Hand is more important than the end of the Monday Night Wars. I want that on the internet. So
yeah,
that's there. You got to deal with that.
Yep, I have to live with that now.
You do.
It's not something I'm prepared to live with.
So that's the grab bag. That's what we're doing.